Hey y'all, welcome to the GI Justin channel. You know, we've been drilling pretty down far onto what's going on with Ukraine and the situation over there because I feel like it is one of the most important topics we can possibly discuss on the channel. And overnight, something incredibly huge happened, and depending on your lens and how you choose to view it, could completely change the structure of the conflict they're currently facing. So videos are available all over, and I encourage you to take a look at it as soon as we get done talking about this here. But it appears at face value, and you know, the Russian propaganda machine is basically fired up saying that Ukraine has attempted to assassinate Vladimir Putin via a drone strike at the residence in the Kremlin. And the Ukrainians have come back and very adamantly denied the allegation. Their premier came out and said, "We don't attack Putin or Moscow. We fight only for our territory." And on the other hand, Russia comes back saying that they're going to be putting down some retaliatory measures over this. So the Ukrainians are preparing for a massive, massive counterattack against Russian forces very, very soon. And I think that plays a big role into this. The Russians have come out and said that the military overnight noticed these two drones rapidly approaching the Kremlin, where Vladimir Putin lives, and the devices were basically shot down, and they view it as a terrorist act against the president of Russia. So they haven't shown anything further when it comes to what these drones look like. You can see them in the video a little, well, one of them in the video, it's a little grainy, and all you see is an explosion and then it's gone. We've kind of come out and said, hey, you know, Russia does a heck of a lot of propaganda. There's not a lot of information that comes out of Russia that is very credible at the moment, according to Anthony Blinken, who is our U.S. Secretary of State. And it's interesting. It appears in a lot of cases, these kind of attacks and these sorts of things that come across from Russia are absolutely fictitious in a lot of ways. And some of the stuff that comes out of Ukraine is also a little bit fictitious. You know, the dialing down to the actual truth is kind of difficult in this case because both sides have a pretty intense propaganda machine. The Russians have also come out and said that this attack was planning, the purpose of it was to disrupt the Victory Day parade, which celebrates their defeat over the Nazis, and that they're still going to move forward with it. They've instituted a ban of drones over the capital, with the exception of drones that are obviously launched by the authorities and the government, and that it will be illegal from here on for any drones to be out there. So kind of my thought on it and what I want to discuss with you guys and talk about today. So logically, this goes one of two ways. Either it's a very, very poorly executed attempt, because if you watch the video, they're not even aiming at the residence. They're just aiming at like the Russian flag on top of the building. Either it is, option A, it is a very poorly designed attempt at killing Vladimir Putin, which, if you look at it from the Ukrainian perspective, would be a very, very dumb thing to do, because they need to stay on the moral high ground and keep the West happy and keep the United States and other countries thinking they're purely on the defense. Their job is to defend their home and get Russia the heck out of there, because Russia is the invader, Russia is the enemy, Russia has done all the wrongs here. And by flying two random drones and attempting to assassinate the president of another country, you end up looking a lot different than if your entire role is to completely protect your own. So the president, basically, who's been in the president of Ukraine, Vladimir Zelensky, has been in Finland, and basically saying the whole time that the military's entire role is to secure their homeland and keep Russia out. That's the right answer, and I think I truly do believe him in this case, because I don't see where assassinating Putin would be beneficial for them in those terms. So that's kind of the Ukrainian look at it. Now, looking at it from a Russian lens, Russia did not expect the war to go like this. It has not gone in any way, shape, or form the way they would have wanted, hoped for, or expected. They've replaced generals. There's some war crimes out there that appear to have been committed. Trench warfare is running rampant. They're using old technology because they're running out of tanks. This didn't go the way Russia wanted. And here they are with the victory parade where they're going to have this huge celebration for a win over Nazi Germany. Yet they've got this war that's been going on greater than a year. They're using mercenaries. They're conscripting kids straight from, as soon as they graduate high school, sending them to the front lines with no training. It didn't go the way they planned, obviously. So now we look at it from that lens. Now they can take some moral high ground with their own people who are obviously not happy about this and say, hey, they're trying to kill our president. This is why we're doing this. This is why we're there. Feel great about sending your kids because they're protecting the president. They're protecting us from Ukraine, who is vengeful and angry and very, very, very upset about all these things. So that's the kind of Russian angle. They're kind of firing up the base a little bit, getting their people back to a wartime footing where they want to watch this fight play out. Their morale will be back up because they feel like they're being attacked now. So third option, and this is the one I think is most interesting. What if, as these drones are commercially available off the shelf, could be purchased anywhere? What if these two drones don't belong to either country? What if it's not a Russian false flag? What if it is not a Ukrainian attempt on Vladimir Putin's life? What if they belong to a third party whose entire goal is to continue to destabilize this situation? A lot of countries truly benefit from what's happening. China benefits from an increased situation with Russia. You've got countries like Iran and some, North Korea who really are kind of enjoying the limelight being off of them a little bit. Iran just seized a U.S. flagged super tanker Monday. Haven't heard about it in the news much, have you? An American vessel being seized by Iran, and it's barely even a story. So I think that's also a possibility too, that there's a third-party actor here. And, drones, anybody can fly one. So in my mind, kind of have my thought made up on it in terms of what I think the most likely situation is. But it's interesting. I think time will tell. I think it's going to be incumbent on the Russians to get the information together and actually prove that this is the case. Get some pieces of the drones. Now, if they say made in Ukraine on them, that's one thing. We'll see. I think that if it is a false flag, the attempt to make it appear Ukrainian is interesting in that the video, it seems oddly placed, where it just so happens to be recording the top of a building at 3 o'clock in the morning looking straight up and magically happens to be exactly where those drones went. Seems odd. Then if it was the Ukrainians, I think that's a tactical and strategic misstep. I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think it would make sense to try to kill him in such ways. So, and then the third thing is if it's just an actor of chaos, somebody from the periphery who wants to get involved, it's actually not a bad move. It kind of raises tensions a little further, keeps the boilerplate going. Interesting thought on that. Thank you guys so much for watching the channel. I really do appreciate it. Thanks for commenting and everything that you guys are doing and spreading the video around because I love getting to talk to new people about these different ideas. So going to be a little circle in the bottom right there, and it's going to have my helicopter from Afghanistan in it. So go ahead and hit that thing, subscribe to the channel, and thank you guys so much for watching.